Hi, my name is Kelli O'Rourke Wall. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm so happy to be with you again today as we continue our discussion on emotions. Did you know that there are 6 primary emotions? These include happy, sad, angry, fear, surprise, and disgust. Of course, there are a lot of subtle variations to these, but these are really the primary emotions that we experience. And there are a lot of myths that we can believe about emotions. Beliefs like emotions are stupid and useless, or that if I feel a certain way, then it must be true, or just that what I'm feeling is not okay. With anger, for example, a lot of us view anger as a bad emotion, and we're really uncomfortable with it. In Ephesians 4:27, Paul writes, "In your anger, do not sin." And I love this because he's not saying don't feel angry, because he knows that we all experience anger from time to time. But what we do with that emotion is really the important thing. Because the truth is, there are no bad emotions. They have a purpose. They're here to share information with us about how we feel, about ourselves, about others, and about the world. So we're actually going to investigate the reason behind the emotion in an upcoming session. But for now, I want to talk to you about how do you recognize the emotion? How do you really know what emotion you're feeling? And the first step to recognizing emotions starts with your felt experience. That is like, what are the sensations that are happening in our bodies as we feel the emotion? So to begin to recognize this, we need to really tune into our bodies. And when we do that, we might notice that our bodies are like doing certain things or having certain sensations. So we might be like clenching our jaw or grinding our teeth. Or maybe, we're getting a flush of heat through our bodies. I've actually heard people say that when they get mad, their head gets so hot and it feels like it's going to explode. We also might just get some tunnel vision where we're really hyper focused on the anger in the moment. And so these are common sensations for anger. You might feel things that are a little bit different, but it's just important to get to know what you specifically feel when you're having that emotion. And the next thing we want to do to recognize the emotion is to label it. We want to give it a name. Is this anger or frustration? Or maybe it's disappointment, or maybe I'm just kind of feeling annoyed right now. The closer we get to the precise word that defines our emotion, the better, because that really helps us to begin to understand the why of it. Labeling is also a first step in regulating the emotion, or simply, dealing with it. So labeling starts to shift our experience from our emotional center of our brain to the thinking center of our brain. And Dr. Dan Siegel has a great model to help explain this. It's called the hand model of the brain. So if we take our hand and we tuck our thumb in, our thumb now represents the limbic system, the emotional center of our brain. And as we curl our fingers down, our fingers now here, our knuckles, are going to represent the thinking part of our brain, or the prefrontal cortex. And what happens when we experience a really difficult or strong emotion is that we flip our lid. And that means the thinking part of our brain has kind of gone offline because the emotional center is so strong. It's really kind of overriding it. And that can be a challenge when we're trying to make good decisions because our thinking, logical, reasoning part of the brain has gone offline. So when we actually start to label the feeling that we're having, we're actually starting to engage the thinking part of our brain, and we're starting to shift from emotions to thinking, and that actually can help calm us down and help us make good choices. Yeah, that is our hand model of the brain. But before we move on, let's take a moment and check in, with what is going on for you. What are you feeling right now? What are your bodily sensations communicating to you? I'm including a body scan worksheet that you can use to note the sensations that you're feeling, including where in the body that you feel them and the level of intensity. And to do a body scan, what you really want to do is just in your mind's eye, imagine a scan going from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet, and just start to tune in and notice what's going on in your body. What are you feeling in there? And to label the emotion, I'm also including a list of emotions that you can use to begin to identify the precise name of what it is that you're experiencing. So I hope that this has been an interesting exercise for you. Maybe you notice that you're experiencing some calm right now, or maybe a little bit of stress or tension. And this is a great practice to help you begin to recognize emotions. And so I encourage you, keep doing it. Check in with yourself each day, or maybe every few hours, or particularly when you're feeling a strong emotion. So I hope you join me next time as we continue this conversation and learn more about how we allow ourselves to feel the emotion. Okay, well, until then, I hope you have a wonderful day.